Welcome to the LA Business Podcast, a forum for business owners and senior executives to share the experiences about the elements that drive their success. Your host is Robert Brill, CEO of BrillMedia.co.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the LA Business Podcast. Today our guest is Caballero, co-founder of GreenPal. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I understand you've been described as the Uber of lawn care.
That is correct. Yeah, I've been in the landscaping industry my whole entire life, and kind of thought that the trend would kind of go towards on-demand lawn care, and saw the opportunity, and got the right team together, and here we are.
And so according to LinkedIn, you've been doing this since April of 2012. What prompted you to get started in this business?
Just kind of the culmination of kind of seeing the trend in the West Coast. At the time, I was doing corporate tech sales, and my territory was the West Coast. So I was privy to the newer technologies like Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, and kind of realized that if homeowners or individuals were going to summon a stranger to come pick them up or stay on a stranger's couch, that at some point home services would also follow that trend. And so that's kind of how the idea and for GreenPal started.
But did you have any experience doing this? I mean, it sounds like the work that you were doing at General Dynamics, at Dell Computers was so different than what you're talking about with this business.
Yeah, so kind of growing up and through high school and college, I did landscaping, so I kind of knew the business side of it. Now the tech side of it was where myself and all my co-founders, we were totally lost in developing something that that we'd never been a part of. But the landscaping side of things, we were solid on. It was just the technological side that we really needed help on.
So when customers work with you, what are they getting? What are the services that you provide?
Yeah, so homeowners can basically get any services outside of the home. So we started with landscaping. We give the vendor the ability to quote any additional services that his company provides. So if they do leaf removal in the fall, if they do snow removal in the winter, if they do mulch, shrub and bush trimmings, anything of that, the homeowner can expect to get quotes on. Now for the vendor side, we're basically his operating system. Not only do we handle their demand creation, we also handle their route optimization, their scheduling, their CRM, and also their payment processing.
I get it. So you're the layer that allows the individual independent contractor to find the work and plan out their days and their weeks.
That is correct.
Got it. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, to the to the homeowner, it's it's pretty cut and dry. I can find somebody to mow my lawn sooner than later. But on the vendor side, that's the guy's life that we're really changing. We're, like I said, we're handling all of his back end office stuff and also helping him grow.
So when a customer works with one of your contractors, do they realize even that they're working with you, or let me actually stop there. Do they realize that
Okay. Yeah, so everything is GreenPal facing, right? A lot of the landscaping professionals that you see driving around don't have an online presence. They don't have any sort of vetting process either. So the GreenPal platform allows them to have a digital presence, and also to give future and potential customers feedback and ratings, and homeowners can see pictures of their previous work. So we're a true platform that allows that whole dynamic to be done digitally.
What's interesting about that, one of the things I like a lot about like using Upwork, for example, is that there's a trust factor. I don't have to worry about payments, and even just the act of invoicing and payment is automatically happening. Like I never have to spend time. I don't have to pay my bookkeeper to pay someone to use from Upwork. And they're also vetted by the community, and they're vetted by the individuals who work at Upwork. So I feel like I understand some of the value propositions that you get when a customer works with GreenPal. So what do you like, is there anything that you've pinpointed that your customers, like, what's the one or two things that your customers look at you and they say, you know, the consumer, they say, you know, I really like working with you because what? It's easy. It's safe.
One of it, you know, it's convenience. You know, in a market that we've got rolling, a homeowner can expect, you know, up to 5 bids in less than 15 minutes. So, you know, instead of calling 10 landscaping professionals in the middle of the summer and getting 10 voicemails, you're going to get individuals that can actually mow on the day that you want it, you know, with all of this proprietary ratings and reviews and all that. And the second thing is we handle the payment. So, you know, no longer do they have to leave a check under the mat or, you know if the lawn care professional has mowed. When the landscaping professional is done, he uploads one picture and that goes to the homeowner and serves as his digital invoice. So they know that, hey, the lawn was done at, 3:45 p.m. on August 11th.
Sure. And so where do you operate? Like what are your markets?
Yeah. So we're actually in 45 states and over 250 major markets now.
Wow. And when you started, like where you're based in Nashville, right?
Correct. Uh-huh.
And how did you grow? Like that seems like an immense task to go.
Yeah. It's not easy. But you know, we did it slow and calculated. You know, we didn't want to, you know, waste money. So, you know, after Nashville, we knew we had to launch into a market that was, you know, basically year round, so we could have that little revenue to kind of throw back into the company. So we launched in Tampa and Orlando. And, you know, basically what we had to do is reach out manually to landscaping professionals in the area, you know, get about 10 to 15, 20 of them signed up. And, you know, we had to rely on the local news outlets to, you know, to announce that we were coming into the area. And that's kind of how we organically grew. And that's still how we do it. It's just more automated as far as, you know, launching a new market and onboarding the vendors in that market.
And do you, so you need to recruit on both sides of the transaction. You need buyers and you need providers.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So on the vendor side, we've utilized Facebook to aggregate those vendors. You know, since our business model, we take 5% of the transaction. So for customer acquisition, we really can't afford to pay $20 to acquire a homeowner, because that would, in a perfect world, be a whole entire season before we get our money back. So we've heavily relied on SEO and basically relying on the landscaping professional to kind of bring on his non-GreenPal customers onto our platform.
Wow. So you can't use advertising to grow then. It's too
it's very expensive. We haven't done it yet, and this is our 8th year. We're possibly going to try in 2021 just to see if we can formulate a way to get our customer acquisition cost to below $10. If we can do that, you know, we have automated upsells for the vendors as well to the homeowner. So we think we can get our money back and make a little money with that. But at $20, it's very tough.
So for the provider of services, you are kind of like you're a demand generation engine.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a website.
Yeah, they also have a unique GreenPal vendor page. So if they're active on social media, they can send a link to their friends or their followers saying, book lawn care directly from me. And those homeowners will get bids directly from that vendor.
So your primary way of growing has been SEO, is what you're saying?
That is correct. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not the fastest way, but it's the safest and the you know, the tried and true.
And you're completely bootstrapped, self-funded.
Completely. Yeah. When we needed money, nobody was going to give it to us anyway, so we were kind of forced to stay that way.
And what did the next few years look like to you? I mean, how you know, two separate questions, I guess. How has the COVID-19 situation, imagine it might be good for you because people are staying home more and need better care of their home areas.
Yeah, so we obviously didn't design it to be contactless service, but a lot of people are, that's the buzzword for now, and our service is truly contactless. Vendors don't even need to go to the property to quote it. We provide them with a Google aerial view, the Google Street View, the square footage of the property and all that, so they can literally bid that from anywhere, from their mower if they want to. So there's no more meeting at the property or exchanging cash. And we also kind of have seen an uptick in, homeowners that are over the age of 60. So that in itself can kind of lend to a different dynamic that we haven't had. So, we're fortunate to be able to see a growth this year, and hopefully that'll continue into 2021.
Wow. That's fascinating. Do you rely on any press, or I imagine referrals is a big part of your business? Like, what are the key things that you use to grow? Or is it like the vast majority of it is SEO?
I'd say 95% of it is SEO. 5% of it is, when we launch into a new market, we get initial signups, from that outlet from announcing our launch. But I'd say 95% is SEO.
That's amazing. And so how many providers do you work with? How do you manage so many people? Like, managing people is so difficult.
Yeah, it is. And we knew that when we first started, that we couldn't manage that many people if we wanted to scale. So we don't. That's the beauty of our product. We made it easy enough for landscaping professionals to kind of run their own business through it. There are some parameters that they have to follow to be able to be in the GreenPal platform. But these guys didn't go into business, for to have a boss and to have somebody like me saying, hey, you need to go cut Bob's yard today. They know that the more lawns that they do, the more reviews they're going to get. The more lawns that they do on the day that they're supposed to, they have a higher reliability rating. All of this kind of flows into our platform. So all that data just kind of helps them grow their business on GreenPal.
That's fascinating. So when you think about growth, what are the opportunities for you guys to grow? Is like, I imagine you can't increase the fees dramatically to the end customer, right? Because you're competing with the market rates.
Right. Yeah. And it's margins are very, very low in the landscaping industry, and you'd be surprised at how many people would get a bid for $32 and like, no, I can't. I do it for 30. So that ought to tell you, how thin those margins are, and they're very, very slim for the landscaping professional. So that is basically impossible. But what we can do is we can launch in every market in the state. Tennessee, for example, there's about 15 markets that we can launch in the state of Tennessee. And, there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of those markets all across the U.S. that aren't necessarily the largest city, but, have 30, 40, 50,000 people that will contribute to our bottom line.
Do you look at like neighborhood disposable or household income? I imagine higher household income is better for you because more disposable income and more likely to spend on fees for gardening and landscaping, not gardening. Landscaping.
Yeah, you would think that would be the case, but about a year ago, what we did was we took a vendor's route and drove it just for the fun of it, just to kind of see if we could see some sort of common denominator in the homeowner, and we did I think the route had like 15 stops. And to be honest with you, there wasn't really one common denominator in any of those lawns other than the grass was growing and it was green. It was everything from a trailer to a $2 million house. So, our target demographic, our total addressable market is basically anybody with a serviceable addressable market is basically anybody with a lawn. So, that's kind of another tough marketing ploy is who do you market to? It's just tough to have that dialed in when there's really not a common denominator that is just staring you at the face.
It seems like a volume play.
Yeah, it is. The more
lower you figure, the lower income has still the same $30 or $32 as a
Right.
higher income property.
Yeah.
The challenge that you face also is that you have challenges with, once you set pricing, the pricing has to be low enough for lower and middle income neighborhoods, and you can't then randomly increase the price for higher income neighborhoods.
Right. And the beauty of our system is we actually don't set the pricing. The vendors do. So, you know, they know the area and they're smart guys, and they know that, hey, this neighborhood right here is, you know, $500,000 to $600,000 homes, and we'll charge a little bit more, you know, or this is a neighborhood that I don't even want to go in. I don't want to have to bid. So we don't handle any of the pricing. We let the vendor set it. And so that makes it a lot easier for us to not have to own that appointment or to be on top of it.
Do you have it? You don't have to name them, but like, are there even other companies who do something similar?
Yeah, there are a couple of other companies that do basically what we're doing, but they just do the lead generation. So if you had a landscaping company, you would see lawns that are available and the prices that those lawns are paying out. I do believe we're the only company that allows the vendors to actually bid on the properties. The other companies use basically like an algorithm to kind of set the pricing for that zip code.
So what do the next couple of years look like for you guys? How do you expand to more cities? Do you create more offerings?
Yeah, I think in the next couple of years, we want to be just the default place where homeowners go to find lawn care. You know, just be a no-brainer, be, you know, brand recognition. Oh yeah, I need to go get me a new green pal because mine went out of business. So that's kind of our ultimate goal. You know, another thing that we're adding, this is actually be our second year, is snow removal. That's going to be huge for, you know, the northern states in the winter, and kind of give, you know, those vendors another vertical to make money. So as far as growth, I think the next 3 years we're going to concentrate on, you know, launching as many cities as we can across the US, be in every state, and also launch a few more different verticals so these guys can make a little more money as well.
Well, I also imagine pool management or cleaning would be something, but I don't know the economics of that or the mechanics of it either.
Yeah, that's you know, that's something that we've kind of toyed with, but I think we've got a lot of ground to cover as far as launching in different cities before we can bolt on something like that. It's kind of a little bit different of a discipline than lawn mowing and snow removal, but you know, you never know.
That's fascinating. And I believe you have a co-founder, right?
Yeah, I have two co-founders.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been at this for 8 years, and we haven't killed each other yet.
How do you divvy up the roles between the three co-founders?
Well, when we first kind of started, nobody really knew what to do anyway. So it just kind of gravitated towards, you know, what we were kind of good at, what we had the time to do, and what we were able to do. So we kind of each kind of took our own little path, and you know, we don't overlap a lot. We kind of stay out of each other's way and in our own lane, and it's worked out well so far.
Does someone have an operational role within the three?
It would probably be me that kind of does more of the operational stuff. You know, I still talk to vendors on a daily basis, and you know, handle a lot of the customer care if we do have it and stuff like that.
And so then there's a different person, like it's always interesting to me how organizations are organized, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had to really focus in on process within our
Mm-hmm.
organization. We're a completely different business today than we were about a year.
Oh yeah.
Because we really focused in on operations. Is there a separate individual who's thinking about the marketing for your business?
Yes, so I pretty much do all of our growth, customer service, vendor acquisition, and PR. Another one of our co-founders does more of the back-end development stuff, and another co-founder kind of does more front-end, does a little bit of growth and kind of overall overall, you know, management of the tech side as well.
Are you do you operate in Los Angeles?
We do, yeah. We have about, I'd say we probably have around 60 or 70 landscaping professionals in the LA area.
So how do you handle, like, when you work with a lot of different people? Tell us about how you ensure that your providers are, like, know what to do.
Yeah, so we knew that we couldn't hire a customer service representative or somebody to teach new vendors how to use our product. So we created a Facebook group that we tell every vendor that has joined the GreenPal platform to also join this Facebook group. And what we learned is that the community kind of answers the questions for any of the landscaping professionals that have just joined. So, if you have a new vendor that doesn't know how to reschedule an appointment or cancel an appointment, they post in this Facebook group, and the community answers the questions for them. So we literally spend $0 on customer support on the vendor side and also on the homeowner side.
Do they share marketing tips, these vendors?
A lot of them do share marketing tips. They're always asking, how do you guys do this? How do you guys do this? So it's kind of a strong family that, that you think there'd be a lot of competitive nature in this business, but it's a lot that, a lot of feedback, a lot of, positive reinforcement, and a lot of tips, being given to people that have just started out in the business. And, it's just it's a great thing that we've done, and it's probably one of the best things we've done as far as trying to get out of the business and get on it and not have to be in it day to day.
So I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with your life, a lot of places a lot of types of businesses you could go into. Why do you choose this? Like, what's the sort of motivating factor for you here?
Yeah, so ultimately, I've been in their position, trying to grow a business and trying to keep customers happy and, being out in the 100-degree weather mowing. But it kind of boils down to just helping people. When we first started, we had vendors telling us, hey, thank you for, allowing me to take my family on a vacation for the extra $1,000 that you guys helped me create this month. So, when you have people in the group thanking you for, helping them send their kid to college, it kind of motivates you. And, if it's helping people, no matter what you're doing, I think you're doing what you're supposed to, and you're not chasing money, and, you're doing everything you can to put somebody else in a better situation, then everything else will follow.
So Gene, if I asked you, what did you learn? What as a business owner, entrepreneur, what should we not be doing that you learned through tough experiences?
Yeah, a couple of things is make sure you have a co-founder that is technologically educated. We made the first mistake of hiring a firm to build our website. We spent $125,000 on them building it. And once they delivered us in a barely usable product, they went out of business. So we actually had to have a co-founder that had zero coding experience, go to a software school, learn how to code, and rebuild that whole entire website. So that's the biggest, tip I would give somebody, when starting some sort of tech business, is to have somebody with some technical background to kind of guide through the process.
And so I imagine that coding help has really helped you since the very beginning.
Yeah, it has. And having that technological background also has helped, hire 15 full-time employees that do all of our development now. So having that knowledge kind of gives you the ability to hire somebody that maybe you couldn't afford here in the US, but you can afford overseas.
How can people find you, Gene?
They can go to our website. It's just yourgreenpal.com.
Yourgreenpal.com. Awesome. Gene Caballero, co-founder of GreenPal. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much.